All right, guys, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to go over a tech concept that's been blowing up lately, that's been catching my eye in the job market that I've also have kind of thought about, you know, getting my foot into if I'm able to. And it's a new tech concept to me. It's a new just business concept to me in general. I'm not sure if anyone else has been familiar with it because apparently it's been around for a long time, but it's pretty new to me. And in this video, we're going to talk about digital transformation, which to me seemed to be a new sector of tech that's gaining plenty of attention. So today we're going to look into what it is and whether or not it's worth looking into if you haven't looked into it already, and some of the benefits to it. So to start off, digital transformation is the process of using digital technologies to transform existing traditional and non-digital business processes and services, or creating new ones. So you're trying to meet the evolving market and customer expectations, because the fact is the more technology gets integrated into our lives, and it's just going to happen more and more. Like, I'm convinced we're definitely going to be in a cyberpunk world relatively soon. And with that comes lower patience, shorter fumes, for people, the customers essentially, um, less grace that they're willing to impart on the vendors or the companies providing these products and services in the first place. So to keep up with this rise in demand and how quickly we have to move, technology is implemented in different sectors of a company to speed things along so that we can satisfy these customers over time. As a result of that, completely altering the way businesses are managed and operated and how value is delivered to said customer. So this is driven by multiple factors in multiple, if not all, industries you can think of. Some of those key points are technology or technological integration, which I pretty much just define that. You're implementing advanced technologies such as cloud computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things or IoT, big data analytics, and other things to streamline your business operations and enhance decision making for uh, higher level management executives, if not C suite executives altogether. The next one would be process improvement, which is when you're redesigning certain business processes, basically redesigning or transforming what steps you take to accomplish a certain task for your job and to make it more efficient and agile in the process. This usually involves automating manual processes, optimizing workflows, and enhancing supply chain management. Next is customer experience. So, this is using digital tools to improve the customer experience through personalized services, better communication channels, and faster service delivery. I'm in the service delivery space for my full time job, and we haven't had any news of automation on our side, but I know that's some news that has spread to some other people when I see on LinkedIn, whether I went to calls with them or not, and naturally has aided in the multiple layoff waves that have been plaguing us for the last few years. Which, now that I think about it, I haven't heard any major news about the major layoffs, about the layoff waves in a little bit. So I may actually look into that to see what's going on there. But hold on to that. The last point I want to bring up is data driven decision making, which is when you're using data analytics to gain insight into customer behavior, the things that they're buying, the trends in the market. How is your operation working? Is it efficient? How quick is it? Do you perform high and satisfy customer demands without wasting unnecessary time and money or waste in lean terms, things like that. And the combination of all these things enables more informed and strategic decision making, again, at the hands of usually upper management, C suite executives, especially. So, why is digital transformation becoming popular? So, apparently, digital transformation is not exactly new, it's just new to me. It's always been a part of technology, but apparently it's a very broad and continuously evolving trend that has spanned all industries. And digital transformation, also known as DX, has been around since the 1940s, which predates the pre-internet era. Like, if you Google it, the 1950s are considered the pre-internet era. And digital transformation predates even that. So these guys were ahead of the curve, whoever came up with the concept. And what's contributing to the current surge of digital transformation or DX is multiple factors. You have technological advancements, which is self explanatory, rapid developments, again, in cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning is a big one, big data, Internet of Things, all those things we talked about before, which have provided the tools and capabilities necessary to perform digital transformation in these different major companies. I don't know about you guys, but when I was looking for jobs actively, I noticed a lot of implementation based roles. I actually was interviewed for one. It was like an implementation engineer type of position. More on the technical side, requires some SQL knowledge, stuff like that. And that was the type of role I was seeing a lot of, where the company you worked for had proprietary technology and software that they were trying to get their customers to use, or they would have customers that wanted to buy it and have it integrated into their systems, but they needed someone that knew how to do that properly without slowing down or causing the operations of the customer primarily to come to a screeching halt, which will lead to that customer losing money, and then they don't like you, so they don't want to work with you no more. I'm still kind of seeing those positions pop up here and there, but not as much. But it might be worth looking into. Another key point is consumer expectations, which, as consumers becoming more tech savvy, they expect seamless digital experiences. Again, people are becoming more and more and more impatient as technology gets better, if you think so. And so the slightest hiccup is bound to throw quite a few people off the hinges. You just never know. And so companies need to have the ability to adapt to these expectations. And if they don't, they risk the possibility of losing customers left and right, which again, if that happens over a long enough period of time, that company is most likely going to be done. Next is competitive pressure. Businesses face pressure to innovate and stay ahead of customers or competitors who are leveraging digital technologies to enhance their products, services, and operations pretty much on a daily basis at this point, especially when you have concepts like continuous integration and continuous deployment, which allows engineers to continuously implement like upgrades and patches and things to different software products and deploy them very rapidly. So, like, even if you use Google Chrome, like I'm using Google Chrome right now, and I don't know about you guys, have you noticed that almost weekly, if not once every couple weeks, there's some type of browser update? That's most likely as a result of continuous integration and continuous deployment. That's the type of pace that tech companies in particular, but even other companies with just tech sectors in them, are expected to keep up with. And it moves very quickly. So if you're not able to keep up, and if your products start to decline as a result, then you're probably going to get left in the dust as far as your competitors in the market. The next point I want to bring up in is operational efficiency, which again is pretty self-explanatory. And digital transformation can lead to significant cost savings. So you can save a lot of money, efficient gains in your operation and how you do things. And again, that's mainly done by automating different processes that normally humans would have to do, but now you can get like AI or something to do it for you, and just saves you a headache. This also means optimizing supply chains and improving decision making through data analytics. So again, we've already talked about this. Now, as far as what makes digital transformation attractive, in my opinion, even across multiple industries, I talked about this kind of in a previous video where I had an opinion where I stated that college grads, I think I posted it. If I haven't, then you won't know. I'll probably post it if I haven't. Um, but I made a video where I stated an opinion where I think college grads should consider starting their careers off as contractors instead of trying to be gung ho and going as full time employees into different, like even major companies. For a few different reasons. Not only because it's lucrative, because contracting can be lucrative, but also it allows you to diversify your experience. From my research, digital transformation essentially goes against my opinion, or at the very least, gives you that same diversity in terms of your skill set and appearance or experience, and you have the ability to grow, but you'll have that somewhat of working a full-time job, which allows some people to feel a little more secure even when the job market is getting a little shaky. But as far as the contracting detail, through this, you'll be able to decide what you want to specialize in because you'll have touched so many things. Or you can just gain exposure to multiple technologies throughout your career, but you may go the whole, you may not become a master of any of them, but you become fairly, if not highly proficient in all of them. So, digital transformation is useful for this exact reason. DX can be highly advantageous for early career professionals, in my opinion, just due to its diverse and dynamic nature. It allows for multiple things, including, like I said, broad skill development, exposure to cutting edge technologies, which, for those who don't know, cutting edge just means the latest and greatest at that time, basically, which means you're also keeping up to date with the market in terms of technologies that are shaking the table and making some noise and that everyone wants to get their hands on. Because, especially in the government space, government entities are seriously behind when it comes to technology. Most people probably think, well, it's the government, they're super ahead. No, the government entities are like dinosaurs compared to the tech companies that are actually making this technology and other commercial companies that just use it and they just buy it in bulk. Government entities are really behind. So let's say if you want to be a government employee at some point and you have experience with technology that they're probably at least 5 years away from integrating into their systems, it makes you look better in their eyes. So that's advantageous. That would be advantageous to you there. You also have cross-functional collaboration, which should be pretty standard at this point, especially when it comes to the growing trend of working with teams on an international level. For me, I've had to work with people, even back when I was a contractor for my job, I had to work with people and get in touch with people that were in the Philippines, that were in Morocco. I think we had a center that was in Colombia as well, all over the place. And then we have vendors in other parts of the world, and then we're moving places and all that stuff. So, yeah, cross functional collaboration at the hands of digital transformation is very useful because it's very slept on. But if you can work with a bunch of people, especially people on an international level, that's also very attractive to future employers, whether you're an independent contractor or whether you're already working in a big company and you just want to make an internal move to a different team or a different title. The last one I'll bring up is innovation and problem solving. Digital transformation is really big on innovation and improving existing processes, not only just creating new ones, but just upgrading what's already there and just reshaping it to fit modern times. And I think that's something early career professionals can definitely take advantage of because it helps develop critical thinking and problem solving skills. And again, those soft skills, especially problem solving skills, very important. Even critical thinking. I've told y'all, my mom works in cybersecurity. She's on the GRC side, and she was just telling me today how, because my mom has kind of enlightened me on some of the work that she does, and she's told me how there are people that they do these interviews, they don't know a lick of what they're talking about. They end up getting hired. She has to double check their work if they're on her team or whatever, and they still don't necessarily wrap their head around what it is they're doing, but they still getting that check for sure. And I heard that a lot when I was still in Dallas. There was this guy I met at the LA Fitness, the first LA Fitness that I worked at in Dallas, and I was telling him I was trying to go through my master's program at the time for my IT degree. Even he was like, dude, not even just Dallas, you need to get out of Texas in general. Texas is not good for IT. And he told me how he knew people that left Texas to go um to DC. They would go to DC to find IT work and they were fighting off job offers. And they didn't know what the heck they were talking about. Very important to have those soft skills, critical thinking, problem solving, all that stuff, because maybe you can get away with it in your early career. And then of course the company culture kind of influences this as well. But the higher you go, that the more that stuff is going to be demanded of you, not just being a programmer and engineer of some kind, but are you able to think through a situation, explain it to somebody else and make it make sense? if you're able to do that, you can be valuable, you know, in a more business savvy type of way or in a more personable way than, you know, an engineer that knows all the technical stuff on the back end but doesn't have the ability and or patience to illustrate this stuff to different stakeholders and, you know, just high level people or management they got to deal with, you know. And I'm telling you, I keep hearing it over and over. There are people, no shade to nobody, but I keep hearing it over and over. There are people out here that are getting paid and don't know what the heck they are doing for their job. And they never get got, or it's never a big enough deal to where they lose their job. So, you know, digital transformation is good because it allows you to be diverse. You get plenty of experience. You can network not only on a local or even a regional level, but on an international level. And, you know, depending on what you do when it comes to some type of, say, software implementation or something like that, you'll gain those critical thinking and problem solving skills that a lot of people lack. And the other side of that coin, because I know I just made that sound a little attractive. And the other side of that coin of like, okay, I can get a bag, but I don't have to know what I'm doing. Those people end up getting got eventually. When it comes to finessing the job market and some other stuff, people end up getting got eventually. Not long before I left Dallas, I met this dude who was an African brother trying to pivot into tech. And he was telling me how he knew people who would pay like a girl to do their interviews for him and stuff like that. And everything would be cool up until they're like, hey, we need y'all to start coming into the office, or we need you to start putting your camera on sometimes during the interviews. And these people were working remote jobs getting paid, but once they got to start kind of showing themselves and proving they know what they're doing, that's when things would go downhill and they would dip, or they would quickly try to study up and get some help, or they would get found out and get booted. So, you know, I wouldn't get too comfortable in it. I mean, if you can finesse it, but I would still try to clean it up to some degree so that if and when you ever get called out, you can still show up and show out for like 5 minutes and people will be like, okay, okay, I think this person's safe. We ain't got to worry about them. And you never know. They may never talk to you again. So, you know, not encouraging anything, but just being honest, speaking from a little bit of experience. But yeah, let's go ahead and leave that video here off, guys. If y'all need just feedback or just your own thoughts on the topic, anything that I missed that I should have brought up, go ahead and let me know. I know there was a lot of overlapping points here, so hopefully I didn't miss anything big. But if you think I did, let me know. If you have any suggestions for me that I should cover later, go ahead and share that with me too. And I'll see you guys in the next one.